This press conference is a response to the possible questioning or investigations that will be carried out by the Dangwangi police, uncertain on what law that will be used. According to the media, it will probably, or it may be, the Sedition Act. The government is using these reports, police reports made at Dangwangi, to intimidate me as executive director of Tenaganita, as well as the whole organization. When I look at our records, we, on behalf of the migrants, this year alone have filed more than 15 police reports at different police stations. The migrants, on their own initiative, more than 10 police reports have been filed within the Klang Valley that we know of, where the migrants themselves have come and given us the police reports. Now, Tenaganita has raised these core issues of abuse of migrant workers directly with high-ranking government officials at numerous consultations and meetings. We published reports through media interviews and public events. We have made known the issues over the past 2 decades. My concern is also that it is very regrettable that taxpayers' ringgit is instead being spent on questioning by the MACC and investigations by the police into the human rights defender rather than on the serious human rights concerns raised. So the investigation is on the whistleblower, the messenger, and not that of the human rights violations. And that is indeed a very grave concern for us in the organization. The Sedition Act, as we all know, is an archaic law that has been used to silence dissent, choke discourse, and stunt the growth of a democratic, moral, and just society. Sri Muhyiddin said that I am immoral. I think by intimidating and refusing to take criticism in a constructive manner to ensure good governance is immoral. So if anyone who's immoral, I think he and the current government is immoral. It has also been used in Malaysia to criminalize human rights defenders who have spoken up for marginalized and disenfranchised communities and persons. Therefore, while not necessarily shocking, it is still painfully pitiful that the Royal Malaysian Police may be investigating me under the Sedition Act for speaking the truth about the abuse of rights and acts of violence experienced by migrant workers in Malaysia. Why does the Malaysian government want so desperately to silence human rights defenders in Malaysia? Why does there appear to be a concerted effort to target civil society instead of collectively and sincerely addressing the problems entrenched in our system that makes it unsafe for migrants in the country? However, the current regime does not seem to acknowledge this, even though the Malaysian government sits on the United Nations Human Rights Council. And I think this is what is malukan negara. Yeah? You work your way up and you are given a seat in the Human Rights Council where you should at all costs uphold the rights of people. You sit there and you silence the people who voice the violations of the rights of others. And that is what is so contradictory with this government of the day.
Totaling about 30 over police report, the victim reported to the police. But until today, nothing is being done. I can name the IOs, but until today, yesterday I did call last week, I did call in Bukit Aman. Why it was not investigated? Until today, no response. from the this one ASP Ramaya from Tata Tertib. Discipline. Totaling about 5 reports forwarded to him. Until today, we cannot, and he cannot locate the IOs.
MalaysiaKini.com.
Malaysia Kini.
For the Malaysia Kini.